Hey fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take a look at this thing called the C.A.G.E System, try to explain it best I can and hopefully make it not so complicated. The C.A.G.E System has been around a long time, and it's been around so long that a lot of guitarists now use other methods to navigate the fretboard, but it's a great method. And it's fundamental. C.A.G.E is this right here, guys. The C chord, A chord, G chord, E chord, and D chord. C.A.G.E, it just happens to spell this acronym C.A.G.E. What does that mean? Well, these shapes have different positions on here where you can make the same chord voicing using, if I'm using a C, I'll show you what I mean. Actually, I'd rather use an E because an E is easier. The C and the G are shapes I avoid at all costs if I can, and I'll show you why when we get there. Let's take an E. Now, imagine this. Put your finger behind your nut there, and imagine that you have to play an E with, these three fingers like this. Now, when you slide that up, from moving up and there, now we've got that E shape is an F chord. That's your standard F chord that you'll see in your tab. When you move it up another whole step, it's a G. When you move it up another whole step, it's an A. And you move it up one more step, it's a B. And then to a C, using the E shape. Now let's take that same idea and let's look at D. Let's look at the D chord. Now I realize I've jumped from E to D and we got C and A and G to go. I'll get there. D. You move that up one half step, that's D sharp. You move it up one whole step. Now it's an E. Let's test it. It's an E with a different voicing in a higher range, but that is still an E. So there are no half steps between E and F, so we just move up. Now we got an F. Now let's test that. That's on the 5th fret, by the way, guys. Same chord, just different voicing. F sharp and G. This D shape is now G. Let's check that. Yep. G sharp, A sharp. We're back to another voicing of a B chord using the D shape. So we left out the C and the G, and there's a reason. I don't like using them, but I'm gonna show you something about them. The C. Now imagine that you make the C like this, ooh-wee, and leave this bar finger free. You slide that up, now you've got a C sharp. Slide that up, now that C sharp's a D. It's a 4D because of my barring. But I want you to conceptualize this, and I'll show you. There's the chord voicing. You can hear that. So you go all the way up the neck, stretching using this C shape, and I'm not going to do it, guys. I think here gives you the idea of stepping up. Let's talk about what the C.A.G.E System means moving across the neck and how you do this. C, okay, that's our open C position. And we go to the furthest fret here, which is our 3rd fret, and the next shape in the C.A.G.E acronym is A. So, instead of making my A like this, guys, which you can see I'm having difficulty, I just do it like this. A bar, okay? Now, that's the A part of that. So what's after A? G. So we go to the furthest fret. Then we go to our G shape. Now, if you think about your G shape down here, when you make a G, you'll notice that there's at least a half step in between there and the nut. So when you go up here to make this, let me get back, I done lost it. Here we go. I do this, guys. Instead of trying to make this whole G, because this is an uncomfortable reach, can y'all see where I've stretched from this fret all the way over to that fret, and that pinky right there is now? That's not a comfortable chord. An easier way to do this is just play this note right here, and I'll show you the sound. Okay, that's a G. Well, if you have difficulty stretching your fingers. But let's go on further with this. We're on G in the C.A.G.E system. So now we want to go to E. So we go to our furthest fret. Then we do our E shape. Okay, now, what's after E? D. So we go to our furthest fret again. And you would bar this if you're able to and make your D shape down here. Now guys, I just go with, that's on 11th fret. I just make an open D like this. D sharp, E. Way on up an octave higher. So guys, that's how this C.A.G.E system works to help you navigate the fretboard. Other versions show you to identify shapes on certain strings, like the E shape works on the first string, the A shape works on the second string, and the G shape, and then the D shape, and on down the E or A minor shape's what I call it. But to simplify, guys, the chords that you use mostly are going to be out of an E shape or an A minor shape, which makes minor chords. Let's go down here to your A. Okay, that's an A using an E shape. Now, if I drop that down, what have I got now? I've got an A minor. If I focus on the root note there, that's an A minor. If I play it down here, that's a C sharp minor. Because here's C minor, here's C sharp minor. Using this makes you chords from major to minor, guys. It's just like taking your finger off up here would make a chord a minor. The shape here, drop down, will make a chord a minor. Now, fellas, this is not an elaborate explanation, but this is the very best that I could do, and it's longer than I intended it to be. So I hope you guys will consider looking at it. If you have any comments, let me know. Peace out.